Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH The Flame Emperor episode number 210 based on novel. So let's start. Without the Xianling royal family's 4-day congregation, your Xianling royal family is just a piece of scattered sand, and you can't make a climate. Mu Tianyuan, the senior brother of Funxiang Pavilion, said aggressively to Qi Haoqing, who was at a disadvantage. Mu Tianyuan, don't be too happy, it's not certain who will die. Seeing this, Qi Haoqing roared directly, but the veins on his forehead couldn't help bursting. Before, with Xiaoyang and the members of the Xianling royal family entering the Holy Flameland, they and the 7 people from the Funxiang Pavilion Heavenly Palace had a big fight outside the Holy Flame Palace, but at this time, with the passage of time, obviously the winner has been decided. There is no doubt about the strength of the 7 people in the Heavenly Palace. The overall strength has reached the middle stage of the 7-star Do Emperor, and even the senior brother has reached the 7-star Do Emperor consummation, which is only 1 step away from the 8-star Do Emperor. Qi Haoqing, their strength is much weaker than them, and being able to stop them for so long is considered powerful. You win, let us go. Qi Hao's face was extremely ugly. Obviously, he knew that even if he used the blood curse in his body, he would definitely not be able to defeat the 7 people in the Temple of Heaven. After all, there were only 5 of them, and 5 among the people, no one in strength can be tied with Mu Tianyuan. Ha ha ha. Let go of you. What a joke. Last time, our Fengxiang disciples suffered heavy losses. This time, we will bring back all of your Xianling royal family. After Mu Tianyuan finished speaking, his whole body flashed with fiery red vitality, and a monstrous fighting spirit suddenly emerged. These bastards. When we come back, we will definitely make you die. Qi Haoqing said viciously when he heard the words, and then did not hesitate. A dazzling vindictive aura also started, trying to defend against Mu Tianyuan's attack. Senior brother. Seeing this, the other 7 people in the Heavenly Palace all said something unanimously, because Mu Tianyuan's face was extremely ferocious at this time, and they were also afraid that the elder brother would go into trouble. Don't worry, I'm fine. But this time, I will fully understand the grievances from the last time. Mu Tianyuan sighed slowly, then closed his pupils slightly, and a shocking breath suddenly burst out, but on top of that shocking breath, a faint trace appeared. Silky black aura. This black aura is as invasive as human death energy. The power of death. My good fellow, you actually reached the threshold of the 8-star Do Emperor in such an instant. But Qi Haoqing's face turned ashen at this time. Mu Tianyuan was originally strong, but now he touched the threshold of the 8-star Do Emperor. For them, it is tantamount to a catastrophe. Everyone, follow me to kill the disciples of Fengxiang. Although Qi Haoqing knew that the 5 of them couldn't defeat the 7 people in the Heavenly Palace, a senior brother from the Heavenly Palace could fight. Kill, kill, kill. The other 4 experts of the Xianling royal family frowned when they heard the words. They all knew that at this moment, it was time for a real crisis of survival. Feng Tianju. And Mu Tianyuan saw that Qi Haoqing and the other 5 did not show any signs of retreating. His eyes glowed with a majestic fighting intent, and then an indescribable tyrannical aura suddenly burst out. Blood curse. Resist me. Seeing the unstoppable terrifying force bursting out of Mu Tianyuan's body, Qi Haoqing's face was heavy, and the next moment, the 5 looked at each other, and an evil wave slowly enveloped the 5's bodies, in order to resist the fierce aura that suddenly erupted from Mu Tianyuan. This is the power of the evil clan outside the territory. Mu Tianyuan's eyesight, he recognized the source of the evil power in Qi Haoqing's 5 people at a glance, and said immediately, Mu Tianyuan, in the previous sect competition, my Xianling royal family almost wiped out your entire army of Burning Incense Pavilion. This time, I can. Qi Haoqing's pupils glowed with an evil blood, and circles of evil forces continued to bleed from his body. The curse burst out. Let's have a showdown. Mu Tianyuan knew some secrets of the Xianling royal family and the extraterritorial evil clan, so he was not too surprised. The corner of his mouth slightly raised a dangerous arc, and the dazzling offensive was in his hand. Blood burst. Break it for me. Behind Qi Haoqing, the 4 strong men of the Xianling royal family continued to inject a steady stream of evil power into Qi Haoqing's body. Finally, in Qi Haoqing's body, an extremely blood-red evil aura was as vivid and scarlet as blood. Let me see if it is your Funxiang Pavilion's Fenchen Ju, or the blood of the Gore Fiend. Qi Haoqing shouted, and the dazzling evil power formed a huge skull directly in front of him. Among the blood-red skulls, if you look closely, there is a mass of blood that looks like blood-red blood, but the edges and corners are clear, and the pupils are filled with an evil aura that destroys everything, making the other 6 of the burning incense pavilion appear. People can't help but feel stressed. Can the senior brother handle it? Among the 7 people in the heavenly palace, Luan Yu said worriedly. Definitely, the eldest brother's heart has been slowly opened, so he has reached the threshold of the 8-star Do Di. Third junior brother Huang Feikong laughed. If that's the case, then we'll be ready. Luan Yu heard the words, and the 6 people held their breaths. The humiliation of the previous time, this time I will take it all back. After Mu Tianyuan finished speaking, the vitality of his body turned into a ferocious giant eagle, and the fiery red feathers set off his entire body to be extremely domineering, as if the eagle of the world is generally tyrannical. Burning heaven judgment. Blood burst. Dao Shapo's shocking voice suddenly sounded slowly in this space. Crash. The blood-red skull and the fiery red giant eagle just collided, and a circle of invisible energy ripples suddenly spread out from the center of the explosion. And Mu Tianyuan and Qi Haoqing were staring at each other. At this point, they knew that once their attack was defeated, they would likely cause extremely serious injuries. Damn. If it goes on like this, we will die here sooner or later. Qi Haoqing continued to supply the evil power to maintain the skull, while on the other hand, he was constantly trying to find a way. With his perception, he knew that if the stalemate continued like this, it would only be them who would lose in the end. The 4 of you, it's time to do something. After a while, Qi Haoqing suddenly turned around and said to the 4 members of the Shenling royal family who were weak behind. Qi Haoqing, you can't. The 4 powerhouses of the Shenling royal family had just heard the words, and before they finished speaking, they were directly swallowed up by an incomparably evil aura, but there were still many flames left in the air. And as Qi Haoqing suddenly devoured the 4 powerhouses of the Shenling royal family, the aura all over his body suddenly skyrocketed, and in a short time, he reached the level of an 8-star fighting emperor. Ha ha ha. Mu Tianyuan, let me see how you fight me. Blood burst. Burst it for me. Suddenly the tyrannical Qi Haoqing burst out laughing, and then the 2 forces stalemate in the air. The fiery red giant eagle was suddenly swallowed up by the skull, and the skull did not stop. Traces of continue to attack Mu Tianyuan. This sudden scene obviously surprised the people who came back. The eyes of the other 6 people in the heavenly temple became illusory, and then turned to look at the senior brother, but found that the gentle smile of the senior brother at this time was full of an invisible chilling meaning. Qi Haoqing, it's really a good offensive. But I can be the senior brother of the Funxiang Pavilion, isn't it a waste of time? Mu Tianyuan looked at the blood-colored skull that was getting closer and closer to him, and smiled slightly, but he didn't mean to be afraid at all. You're still stubborn when you're about to die. Die. Qi Haoqing didn't take it seriously, but now he has swallowed 4 strong men, and the power in his body is stronger than Mu Tianyuan. Then let you see, what is the real burning heaven due? Mu Tianyuan said slowly, not in a hurry. What's going on here? But as soon as Mu Tianyuan's voice fell, a fiery feeling slowly swept out, and at this time, the entire sky was also glowing with a fiery red, which was quite strange. Stop pretending to be a ghost. Seeing this, Qi Haoqing said with a hint of fear in his pupils. Fen Tianjue, burn me, and aware of Qi Haoqing's sudden fear, Mu Tianyuan screamed in the sky, and the flame giant eagle, which had been smashed by the skull, flashed out a scorching hot light, and then with a strong aura that burns everything, it suddenly hit the skull. Countless hot rays of light just hit the skeleton head, and the skeleton head full of evil aura immediately exploded under everyone's eyelids, and there was not even a trace of evil aura emerging, because those evil auras were all nothing left was swallowed by the scorching light. The Do Qigong method we practiced at Burning Incense Pavilion has been of the fire attribute since ancient times. Although it is not as powerful as the holy flame to kill the evil races outside the realm, it has the same effect in dealing with the evil power in you. Mu Tianyuan succeeded in one strike and smiled slowly. Not good. Run. Qi Haoqing only had a little bit of wisdom left. Qi Haoqing, die. Mu Tianyuan's hatred for the Shenling royal family had accumulated for many years, so naturally he would not let him escape like this. Don't kill me, don't kill me. I was also persecuted by King Shenling. I can tell you the whereabouts of Yin Tong. As long as you don't kill me, everything is easy to say. Qi Haoqing's body dimmed and said to Mu Tianyuan in a begging tone. Go to hell. Mu Tianyuan was extremely fast, coming directly to Qi Haoqing's side, and then on the palm of his hand, an extremely strong flame force shot directly at his chest. The simple attack, however, directly passed through Qi Haoqing's evil power, and then hit Qi Haoqing's chest impartially. With a sound, a large pool of blood slowly flowed out from the corner of Qi Haoqing's mouth. Obviously, his vitality was also rapidly decreasing when Mu Qianyuan attacked just now. Senior brothers, I will help you to avenge your revenge. Seeing Qi Haoqing's dying breath, Mu Qianyuan was also pleased to kneel down to the sky and said solemnly, Senior brother. The other 6 people in the heavenly palace nodded happily when they saw this. Senior brother, Qi Haoqing still has the aura of a lot of extraterrestrial evil races in his body, so among the 7 of us, only you have the power to destroy extraterritorial evil races. So, let's do it. Luan Yu said slightly after a while. Yes. Mu Qianyuan agreed. He knew that the life force of the evil clan outside the territory was extremely tenacious. The power of the extraterritorial evil race completely disappear, and after Mu Qianyuan had done everything, an incomparably huge force attacked him directly. Cece. Just when Mu Qianyuan started, a trace of blood suddenly swept out from the distance, and silently merged into Qi Haoqing's body. Bang bang bang. The unwavering attack hit Qi Haoqing's almost illusory body accurately, but Mu Qianyuan felt that he had hit a solid stone. Ha ha ha. This ambassador has been reborn again. The human body is wonderful. If it hadn't been eroded by my clan for so many years, I would have been extremely repelled by me, but now with the loss of this master's spiritual wisdom, this body is all mine. The next moment, Qi Haoqing, who was dying, was abrupt. Standing up, he looked at Mu Qianyuan, who was close at hand, with a ferocious expression. At the same time, an unprecedented blood-red aura suddenly spread out from the body of Qi Haoqing, who was on the verge of dying. What kind of power is this that can actually erode my mind? At the moment when Qi Haoqing suddenly mutated, Mu Qianyuan pulled his palm back, still bringing back a trace of blood-red aura. The blood-red aura had just poured into the body, and Mu Qianyuan suddenly felt that his body was turned upside down, and even his soul realm was eroded a lot by the blood-red aura. Mu Qianyuan was immediately startled. He left Qi Haoqing several dozen meters away, and then started the internal exercises, barely resisting the erosion of the blood-red aura. Eldest brother. The other 6 people in the heavenly palace, who were already full of smiles, had a heavy expression on their faces at this time, and the 6 of them surrounded the elder brother. Humans are really unreasonable creatures. You can't protect yourself, how can you manage others? It's ridiculous. That trace of blood just now was actually half the power of the Gore Fiend who escaped from the demon suppression territory. However, at this time, he was extremely weak, because at the last moment he was blown up by the ghost face and soul flame, and he was seriously injured. At this time, he happened to be attached to the fallen body of Qi Haoqing. Don't be ashamed. Senior brother, you all go first. Third junior brother Huang Feikong said directly upon seeing this. After speaking, he directly attacked the Gore Fiend, trying to buy time for the 6 of them. A mere ants. The Gore Fiend looked at Huang Feikong, flicked his fingers, and immediately flew out of his body. There were large and small injuries at the corners of his mouth. Severely wounded. Don't go. Seeing this, the senior brother's pupils became crazy for the first time. Obviously the guy in front of him was too strong. You are the disciples of the Burning Incense Pavilion, aren't you? Just in time, a disciple from your Burning Incense Pavilion killed the 4 envoys of my Blood Demon clan. Now I will charge a little interest from you. The space spreads out. Arrangement. Mu Qianyuan also knew that this matter was definitely not easy, so he didn't dare to neglect, so he had to form an array. As soon as the voice fell, 7 people sat in a group, and a dazzling power emerged from each of them, and then under Mu Qianyuan's powerful array scroll, a huge light curtain emerged. This formation was given to them by Zhu Jin, and it was enough to resist the life-saving means of the 8-star duty powerhouse. Ant. The Gore Fiend looked at the struggling 7 people step by step, and walked towards them very slowly. Die. After a few breaths, he came to the periphery of the light curtain, and then lightly tapped his palm. Bang bang bang. The tyrannical light curtain was pointed by the Gore Fiend, and it shattered directly, but the remaining power did not stop at all, and directly hit the 7 people in the Temple of Heaven. The sound of explosions in succession was incessant, and then the seemingly solid light curtain was defeated in an instant. At the same time, the 7 people in the Tiandian protected by the light curtain suddenly spit out blood, and wiped it. The despair of death came to my mind. After swallowing you all, I should be able to restore some of my strength. After a while, the Gore Fiend, who was walking towards the 7 people in the lower heaven palace, had an evil smile on the corner of his mouth. Although he only has half of the power of his body now, but he was seriously injured in the demon suppression territory. At best, he is probably able to deal with some ordinary 8-star fighting emperors. Want to rely on devouring human life to restore power. What the is this? And the 7 people in the Tiandian looked at the extremely evil Gore Fiend in front of them, and there was a hint of despair in their heart. The Gore Fiend in front of him was like an abyss that made people shudder, and every time he approached the crowd, the pressure on everyone increased. Take them away. At this time, Mu Tianyuan forcibly supported the fear in his body, and said solemnly in a solemn voice, he knew that if he hesitated, he might not be able to leave. None of you will be able to leave. As soon as Mu Tianyuan's voice fell, the blood demon envoy suddenly noticed their intentions, and then gave a wicked smile. The smile just fell, when the Gorfian's body, a group of dazzling blood-colored aura, whizzed past directly, trapping the 7 people in the Temple of Heaven in a short moment. And the 7 people in the Heavenly Palace had already been seriously injured by a blow from the Gore Fiend, and now they can only watch them fall into trouble. This thing is eroding our life force. Within 10 minutes, I'm afraid all the vitality in our body will vanish. We must escape within 10 minutes. As soon as they were wrapped, everyone tried to struggle, but the aura that wrapped them was extremely tyrannical and could not struggle for a short time. Mu Tianyuan frowned tightly and said, "Eldest brother, I'm afraid this guy won't give us this chance." Before he finished speaking, he was interrupted by Luanyu, and a shocking scene slowly appeared. "Ha ha ha. I won't give you any chance, turn it into my nourishment." Suddenly, the Gore Fiend screamed in the sky, and then the blood-colored aura that had wrapped the 7 people in the heavenly temple flashed directly at the Gorfian's body. Not good. Seeing this, the 7 people in the heavenly palace were hurriedly shocked, and all the power that could be mobilized in their bodies burst out at this moment. However, despite the strength of the 7 people, they faced the Gore Fiend without success. In a short period of time, the aura came to the Gore Fiend, and then the Gore Fiend opened his mouth and was about to put the blood demon. It swallows up. They knew that the Gore Fiend in front of them was extremely terrifying. If they were swallowed by the Gore Fiend, their chances of survival would be slim. Those who dare to hurt my burning incense pavilion will not be able to find death. And at that critical moment, a huge flame ruler hundreds of feet in size, directly with the tyrannical power of flame, blasted away at the Gore Fiend. And above that flame is a khaki flame, Xiaoyang. After hearing the voice, the Gore Fiend who was so proud just now said through gritted teeth. He could only temporarily give up dealing with the 7 people in the heavenly palace, because the giant flame was mixed with the power of holy flame. The Gore Fiend who was seriously injured now obviously did not dare to confront him. "Blood demon envoy, you still remember me." Xiaoyang's figure flickered out directly, and he succeeded in one strike, and then rescued the aura, because he knew that the 7 people in the heavenly palace were among them. "Humph. Xiaoyang, you killed the 4 Gorfians and the grievances in the demon suppression territory. Let's get to know them here." Hearing the words, the Gore Fiend said directly to Xiaoyang without any fear. "You were lucky enough to run away in the demon suppression territory. This time, you won't be so lucky." Xiaoyang also said with a grim look. Not to mention anything else, this Gore Fiend is not only the murderer who killed Yin Tong, but also the culprit who controlled Yang Kai. He is also the master of Xiaoyang, and Xiaoyang must completely obliterate him. "Xiaoyi, look at the senior brother, this guy, leave it to me." Xiaoyang looked at the blood demon envoy who was full of danger in front of him, and then projected the blood-colored aura in his hand directly at his back not far away. "Where's my brother?" Mu Yingying's beautiful eyes flickered slightly, but she didn't see Yench's aura. Even with her perception, she didn't find any trace of Yang Kai. "Okay." After a while, the blood-colored aura was directly caught by a handsome figure. At the same time, there were 2 figures beside him. One was the 4 gods and no masters, and the other was Mu Ying. The blood-colored aura had just started, and Xiaoyi released it immediately, and the figures of the 7 people in the heavenly palace slowly appeared. "You guys are back." Just after coming out of the evil aura, the elder brother was surprised. "This is senior brother." But before Xiaoyi could speak, Mu Tianyuan's eyes suddenly saw a figure not far away. The figure was extremely tall and straight, with a fine jade sheen on his body, and he had a rather gentle appearance. But like this, Mu Tianyuan, even the 7 people in the heavenly palace, will not forget it even if he dies. The man in front of the 4 gods without masters is the disciple of their Funxiang pavilion master who regards them as their own, Yin Tong. This is senior brother Yin Tong. I'm afraid I've lost my memory now, but I haven't fallen. Xiaoyi looked at the shocked 7 people in the Temple of Heaven, and she didn't know what to say for a while. "Junior brother Xiaoyang, please junior brother, please show us the incense pavilion." The 7 people in the Tiandian heard the words, and their eyes were directly directed at Xiaoyang, who was opposed to the blood demon envoy in the sky. It knelt down. Until this moment, the 7 people in the heavenly palace completely believed in Xiaoyang's potential and strength, so now the banner of burning incense pavilion naturally fell on Xiaoyang. Do not worry. This blood demon envoy will definitely kill today. And Xiaoyang also noticed such a grand gift from the 7 people in the heavenly palace, and immediately smiled slightly. This kind of kneeling etiquette, in the incense pavilion, means to completely believe. I don't know the heights of the boy. In the demon suppression territory, because of the help of the Holy Flame Spirit, and now without the power of the Holy Flame, the mere strength of the 7-star Do Emperor in the middle stage is also trying to compete with this envoy. Where did the courage come from? He burst out laughing. Hey, this Gorfian's tone is quite mad, but I don't know if half of the Gorfian's power is as strong as I desire. Just as the Gorfian's ridicule fell, Xiaoyang's body was immediately engraved with countless complex symbols. The ancient rune of Wen is also in Xiaoyang's body, slowly inciting. Senior, how sure are we to kill him completely when we join forces? Xiaoyang couldn't help asking. Why are you asking? There is only a blood demon in the area, but the owner has not taken it seriously, let alone this guy is only half of the power of the blood demon. The ancient lines on the runes, a mysterious ghost, radiated directly. Boy, what power is in you? Why is it so weird? After Xiaoyang's body replaced the power of the khaki holy flame with circles of black energy, the always proud Gorfian's voice became trembling. As a blood demon envoy, although he is seriously injured now, his eyesight is much more knowledgeable than everyone present. The black chi on Xiaoyang's body just appeared, and the Gore-fiend immediately felt a very familiar aura. Although the aura on Xiaoyang's body was exactly the same as the ghost chi in the ghost world, its nature was completely different. If it is said that the ghost chi on ordinary ghosts is eerie, then the black chi aura on Xiaoyang's body at this time is a shocking meaning that devours everything. What power? Don't you know if you try it? Xiaoyang heard the words, looked at the ugly blood demon envoy in front of him, and immediately laughed. Ghost energy, the power of devouring. Could it be the Lord of Soul Eater? Impossible. Among the 7 realms, there are very few human beings whose strength can reach the Lord's level. How could they appear in such a place? Absolutely impossible. The Gore-fiend muttered to himself, then shook his head. Master of Soul Eater? Strength. Lord. When Xiaoyang heard the words, some intermittent words also appeared. Obviously, this was the first time I heard such words. Don't worry about this guy, get rid of him as soon as possible. I always feel that this guy is seriously injured and still hasn't left the blood river. I'm afraid he has other plans. Soul Eater looked at Xiaoyang's sluggish remarks, and then said, Okay. Xiaoyang also knew that the Soul Eater talisman was his last trump card at this time, so enhancing the power of the Soul Eater talisman was the top priority. Ignorance child, suffer to death. The blood demon emissary did not dare to hesitate, and shot directly at Xiaoyang, and Xiaoyang did not panic and met him directly. Boom boom boom. The 2 terrifying offensives continued to appear in the sky, and they were obviously inextricable. What kind of power is that black chi in Big Brother? It doesn't look like a ghost, but it makes me feel scared, as if touching it will have extremely terrifying consequences. Xiao Yi said slowly, Brother, where have you been? But Mu Yingying didn't notice Xiaoyang, just muttered slightly at the corner of her mouth. As for the note pupil on the side, the ghost-faced soul flame Saint Yangjing in his arms emits a very faint cyan light. Obviously the unusual ghost energy in Xiaoyang caused him to mutate. You go ahead and lead our large army to fight against the Xianling royal family. Xianling royal family's top combat power has been killed by Xiaoyang, and some of the remaining disciples are no longer a big threat. This time, they must be completely wiped out. After a while, Mu Tianyuan said to the 6 people around him, Eldest brother, you can go too, we are here. Xiao Yi thought for a while and then said, Okay, let's go. Mu Tianyuan glanced at Yin Yintong and Xiaoyang, and there was a hint of relief in his eyes. He knew that if there was no leader of the hundreds of Funxiang Pavilion disciples, they would still be hard to beat the Xianling royal family. As soon as he finished speaking, he immediately took the 7 people from the heavenly palace towards their large army, leaving Xiaoyang and the 4 to resist the Gore-fiend here. These 2 guys. Seeing that Mu Yingying and Yin Tong were expressionless, Xiao Yi also shook her head slightly. Big brother, you have so many secrets. Xiao Yi laughed, and immediately became alert after laughing. If Xiaoyang was in any danger, he would immediately take action. You bastard. Xiaoyang fought with the Gore-fiend for a while, but the Gore-fiend found out that this human boy who only had the strength of the middle stage of the 7-star Do Emperor could actually use that strange black energy to fight himself. It's hard to tell. This guy really deserves to be the strongest of the Gorfians. The Soul Eater talisman said secretly in Xiaoyang's body. In the battle just now, it seems that the two are evenly matched, but in fact it is not. Although the Blood Demon envoy was seriously injured, the power that devoured Qi Haoqing and several powerful royal family members has recovered a little bit of power. As for Xiaoyang, although he temporarily used the power of the soul-devouring talisman, it did not belong to Xiaoyang after all, so Xiaoyang just had the disadvantage. Bang bang bang! As Xiaoyang and the Gore Fiend Zaidu fought against each other and fell into a temporary calm, both of them suddenly thought carefully. This Gore Fiend is really not easy. After a while, a voice came from the Soul Eater talisman in Xiaoyang's body. Can you kill with one hit? Xiaoyang said solemnly. Because Xiaoyang knew that the Gore Fiend definitely knew that this power did not belong to him. No matter the attack just now or the present, it all had the taste of delaying time. If he had been delayed for so long, when the power disappeared, Xiaoyang would probably fall into 9 deaths. Lifeless situation. It should be okay. But I think this Gore Fiend also has the means of pressing the bottom of the box, which is not used. Although my power is temporarily used by you, I am too seriously injured, and your strength is too weak to exert much at all. You still have to rely on you for the fatal blow, said the Soul Eater talisman. Can the 6-layer breaking ruler work? Xiao Chen asked in a deep voice. Don't, you have to be 7 feet to have a chance. The Soul Eater also said suddenly with a heavy voice, apparently underestimating the Gore Fiend. Okay. Xiaoyang heard the words and nodded secretly. Now, he can use 6 feet. As for the 7th, he has never tried it. Boy, the power of yours is not clear, but the power of the outside world is limited after all. When this power disappears, I will let you live and die. Ha ha ha. The Gore Fiend looked at Xiaoyang and burst into laughter. The laughter just appeared, and immediately, the Blood Demon envoy's whole body was filled with scarlet auras like thick smoke. Crash. The scarlet aura just emerged, and suddenly shot towards Xiaoyang. Go. Xiaoyang also knew the evil of this thing. If he got a little bit of it, it would probably cause extremely serious damage to his body. And as Xiaoyang's voice fell, the ghost energy around him instantly turned into a pitch-black iron cage, directly imprisoning the scarlet aura. Calculate the time. This time the sect competition is almost coming to an end. Where is the teleportation point for the sect competition? You will all be my best fertilizer. After the attack of the Gore Fiend was resisted by Xiaoyang, he ran away from a certain direction behind him. Gore Demon, where can you escape? Xiaoyang shouted loudly, and then went after him directly. At this time, the Blood Demon could be completely wiped out if he gave a fatal blow. Isn't that the exit for the sect competition? What does this Gore Fiend want to do? As Xiaoyang and the two disappeared, Xiaoyi muttered, and then directly followed up with Mu Yingying and Yin Tong. And with the disappearance of Xiaoyang and the Gore Fiend, more and more troops will gather here in the core area of the Blood River. This is an extremely vast forest. In the forest, there are lush trees all over the place, which covers the forest extremely mysteriously, and in all directions of the forest, countless super sect disciples are gathered here. Because the sect competition is nearing the end, many super sects have obtained the opportunity and want to take this opportunity to leave. The teleportation formation is in the center of the forest. The sect competition has come to the end. Behind an empty rock, a large group of disciples stood here, and one of the leading figures said, "It's strange to say that, why haven't I seen the 4 heavens of the Xianling royal family?" said several other figures with swords on their backs. These 2 people are the big brother Jian Xin of Wanjianmen and Feng Lin of Ancient Desolate Hall. The restriction outside the Holy Flameland is so strong that we didn't even enter it, but I think it has something to do with the Xianling royal family and the Burning Incense Pavilion. Jian Xin said slightly. The land of Holy Flame is extremely dangerous, and it can only be said that it has no fate with us. But we also got some other opportunities because of this. Feng Lin said with a smile. Eldest brother is right. Now that the sect competition is over, let's leave first, said outstanding disciple Feng Hong. Let's go. This time in the sect competition, I am afraid that the biggest winner will compete between the Xianling royal family and the Funxiang Pavilion. We will not mix up. I believe other super sects also have this intention. Jian Xin said slowly. Every time the sects compete, the Xianling royal family and the Funxiang Pavilion are in a real life and death battle. Although other super sects also lost their disciples, the losses were extremely small. Let's go. After the 2 finished speaking, they rushed towards the center of the forest. And as the leaders of the group headed towards the teleportation formation, the powerhouses of other super sects rushed towards it. Senior sister. We haven't met Xiaoyang and the others, what should we do? At the poison sect, Lin Chu asked the senior sister of the 5 poisons. Wanhua Pavilion is also ready to leave, let's leave first. These guys in Burning Incense Pavilion should have their self-confidence, and I always feel that there is something wrong with this river of blood. After the 5 poisons finished speaking, they rushed towards the center of the forest. And as more and more powerhouses rushed towards the center of the forest, an extremely incredible scene slowly emerged in the center of the forest. How's it going? A mysterious robe appeared on the man at the head, and a conspicuous mysterious character appeared on top of the robe. Return to your lord. The disciples of Funxiang Pavilion and other super sects gathered around the forest. I'm afraid they are trying to use the teleportation formation to leave. The figure who just appeared said respectfully. Humph. A group of guys who are greedy for life and fear of death. In the previous sect competition, because our Xianling royal family was weak, we could only attack Funxiang Pavilion, so we couldn't kill other super disciples, but this time, it's different. Pass my order, the disciples of the Xianling royal family gather and form an array. This time, the entire Xian Santian must be cheered up. The leading man said evilly. Yes, my lord. The entourage respectfully agreed, and went straight to prepare. Lord Fiend, your plan is about to start. If Lord Fiend absorbs the power of countless super sect disciples and regains his strength, he will be able to help our Xianling royal family unify Shentian Santian. But it's strange why King Xianling didn't inform me. Forget it, I will be outside, and the military orders will be unacceptable, so let's help the Fiend Lord first. After the man in Shenpao finished speaking, the flickering evil aura was getting stronger. In the early stage of the 8-star Dodi, it has reached the limit of power in the Blood River. It's so quiet. Jian Xin and Feng Lin had just arrived outside the formation, and saw a huge circular formation slowly appearing, and a yellow light curtain directly shrouded it, but here the air was surprisingly quiet. The past teleportation formations are not like this. Jian Xin said in a deep voice, and then said, for some reason, when his eyes first saw this teleportation formation covered with large and small runes, he felt inwardly. There was a chill. Do it. It will change later. Although Feng Lin didn't know the reason, he still said. As Feng Lin's voice just fell, the dazzling vitality of the two immediately emerged directly, and then precisely hit the light curtain of the teleportation formation. This approach is to open the teleportation formation. Law. This is not a teleportation formation, and as the two's attack just hit the yellow light curtain of the teleportation formation, a blood-red aura suddenly filled out. Through this blood-red aura, Feng Lin and Jian Xin both became serious now. Ha ha ha. Feng Lin, Jian Xin, you two are immortal. The next moment, a man in a black robe flashed directly from the center of the formation. Xian Wanjin, didn't you already fall? How could it be possible? Jian Xin couldn't help but be surprised when he saw this scene. The Xian Wanjin in front of him was a strong man of the same era as him, and his strength was even stronger than that of the 4 heavens. You don't need to worry about these things. But unfortunately, there is something I need to tell you. All the disciples who entered the Blood River this time will be wiped out here. But Xian Wanxin, the man in black robe, smiled evilly. As soon as Xian Wanxin's voice fell, the teleportation formation filled with yellow light curtains was filled with a suffocating evil atmosphere. This actually modified the teleportation formation. This time, I'm afraid it's going to be troublesome. With the appearance of Xian Wanjin, other superpower houses also came here, and they all discovered Xian Wanjin's move. With the strength of all of us, can we break this formation? After a while, the voice of the 5 poisons floated towards the leader of the super sect. I'm afraid not. Seeing this, everyone shook their heads one after another. They didn't know the horror of this formation, but this breath alone made everyone so timid, which was enough to show the tyranny of this formation. Oh, let's go back. This time, I'm afraid it will be a disaster for Xian Santian. Feng Lin shook his head and said. Following Feng Lin's words, other super sect powerhouses also retreated one after another. Obviously, this formation, even if they all joined forces, could not be broken. Ha ha ha. Do not worry. None of the people here can escape. Blood Demon Formation Diagram. Blood Coagulation River. Looking at the many powerhouses retreating around, a trace of madness appeared on Xian Wanjin's face, and he shouted directly. With Xian Wanjin doing this, the formation full of blood-red evil aura exudes an incomparably tyrannical suction, madly sucking it away in all direction. In the distant horizon, the figures of the Gore Fiend and Xiaoyang also flickered towards here. This video will end here.